Hey everybody, this is Nick on Control Nick, and today I have 5 tips and tricks that I'm going to teach you in Microsoft Excel. Let's dive right into it. So trick number 1 is that Excel has grid lines pre-selected for you when you create a new workbook. If you want to get rid of grid lines, you just go to the View tab and then deselect grid lines, and that'll get rid of it for you. You can also do the same thing for the formula bar and the headings. Trick number 2, you can actually select all the cells in your workbook if you want to create the same formatting across all cells. All you have to do is go between the A column and row 1 where you have this bottom right arrow. If you select in this top left piece, you'll notice that all the cells can be selected and updated at the same time. Meaning if I go into home and if I change the coloring to whatever I want, all of those cells are going to update at the same time. All right, so now we're in trick number 3. As you can see, we have a table here and we have a formula sitting in the table. Now, if I have a formatting that I really like for this table and I don't want to mess it up, sometimes it helps to have this trick where if I were to just copy and paste this formula across the full table, you'll notice that it starts to mess up the formatting that you had for the table in itself. But if we undo that and instead, if I control copy again and I select the full area that I want to paste those formulas into, I would just right click and under paste options, you have some special paste options. The third one shows this FX, and if you hover, it says formulas. You click that and it keeps all the formatting for your table. So for trick number 4, you can see that we have that full table showing, but over to the right, you have a bunch of information that maybe you need, you just don't need to show the person that's looking at the table. So you can hide all the columns and all the rows in your workbook by, for example, selecting column F where you want to start hiding the columns. If you then select on your keyboard Control, Shift, and then the right arrow, it's going to highlight all columns to the right of your original selection. Then if you right click on either of the columns highlighted here, at the bottom you have hide. That'll hide all the columns that you're showing. You can do the same thing for rows as well. So if I select row 8 here and then Control Shift down arrow, highlights all the way to the last row in an Excel workbook, then you right click any of these rows and select hide again. For our 5th and final trick, as you can see, we have 3 tabs over in the bottom. You have space 1, space 2, and space 3. And in each of these tabs, you have the exact same setup of a table. However, they are for different people. So you can see in this table, we have John, but in space 2, we have Albert, and in space 3, we have Frank. And maybe you need to do a copy and paste of a formula, but instead of doing it 3 times because you have 3 different tabs, the trick here is that all you need to do is multi-select the tabs that you want to do the exact same formula with. And you can do that by holding control and then selecting. So I'm going to hold control and select space 2 and space 1 so that all 3 of these tabs are selected. Then you can select where you want to copy the formula. So I'm going to copy where it shows this 2 plus 2. I'm going to use the same trick that we learned earlier to highlight the full area. Right click, and then select that formulas for FX under the special paste option. And as you can see, although Frank has everything copy and paste over for the table, because you have these other tabs highlighted, if I select space 2, Albert's is also doing the same copy and paste, and same thing with John's table as well. And it doesn't just work for the formulas, but it works for anything you do in whatever tab you have selected, as long as you have things multi-selected in the bottom. Now, just remember, if you're done with doing the same formula or adjustment in multiple tabs, make sure you click away so that you're not multi-selecting anymore, or else you could forget and then accidentally keep doing the multi-selection function. That was all I had for you today. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing. It always helps. And consider taking a look at these 2 videos that'll pop up now. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.